Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I am about to fight a 1,000-point incursion level battle between my Dark Angels and Neil's Demons of Tzeentch. So, the story that we've got going on here is that a demonic incursion had occurred on a Forge world, and the forces of the Mechanicus put out a signal for help to help quash this uprising of the forces of chaos. And the Dark Angels happened to be in the sector and sent out a fast reactionary force to help them stem the tide before it became too much for them to handle. So that's the story. We are going to be playing one of the brand new 9th edition incursion level battle Eternal War missions called Ransack. So essentially it's Dawn of War deployment, essentially, is what it used to be. So we're on the long edges, but we have a smaller table because this is the recommended table size for incursion level missions. So for 1,000 point, up to 1,000 points is incursion, up to 2,000 points is strike force, and whatever. Regardless of all of that, 1,000 points is incursion and has a smaller table, which is 44 inches by 30 inches. So it's essentially half as big a table as the one that the minimum recommended size for a 2,000 point mission. So it's going to be a tighter confined battle, which is, I think, a lot of fun, especially when you're playing a lower point game. I just wanted to try out the new missions, try out the new table size recommended table size for these, so we can see what a 1,000 point game's like. I think it should be fun. It looks like when we deployed all our units that it's going to be a fun battle here. But essentially the primary objective, there are 6 objectives on the table. 3 on each side of the table, 1 in each of our deployment zones, and then 2 on each side of the table that are outside of our deployment zones. And essentially what happens is that at the end of your command phase, if you control 2 or more objectives, you get 5 points. If you control 3 or more objectives, you get an additional 5 points. And if you control more objectives than your opponent, you score an additional 5 points for a maximum of 15 points per turn, and up to 45 points for the primary mission. We then chose secondary missions for all of this, and essentially what you do is you have a list of secondary missions, including a bespoke one for the actual mission that you're playing. For me, I chose Psychic Ritual as one of my secondaries. Essentially it means if I have a Psyker cast the psychic action of this ritual at least 3 times within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. Over the course of the game, I score 15 points. I then have Line Breaker, which is at the end of my turn. If I have 2 units wholly within my opponent's deployment zone, I score points for that. And then I have Engage on All Fronts, which is if I have at least 1 unit in 3 table quarters, I score 2 points. And if I have at least 1 unit in all 4 table quarters, I score 3 points. That's at the end of the game. At the end of the turn, I score for each of those. And each of those can score up to a maximum of 15 points. So those are my secondaries. My opponent Neil, his secondaries are going to be Slay the Warlord, score 6 points if he kills my Warlord, which is going to be my Primaris Master in Phobos armor. My opponent also has Linebreaker as well, which is what I had. And he also chose the Ransack mission, which is the mission on this battlefield, which is for this mission, which is if he controls the objectives on my side of the battlefield, he will score points. If he controls 1 of them, he'll score 2 points. If he controls 2 of them, he'll score 3 points. And if he controls 3 of them, he'll score 5 points. And then a maximum of 15 points over the course of the game. So, those are the missions that we are going to be playing here today. That is the story that we're going to be playing here today. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Dark Angels, I'll be running a battalion detachment. Leading off that detachment, we have a Master in Phobos armor, we have a Librarian Phobos armor, and we have a Lieutenant in Phobos armor. We have 2 5-man Infiltrator squads. We have a 5-man Intercessor squad. We have an Apothecary. We have a 3-man Outrider squad. We have a Blade Guard Ancient. And last but not least, we have a 3-man Blade Guard Veteran squad. And for the Demons, he'll be running a battalion detachment as well. Leading it off, we have a Demon Prince with wings, and we have a Flux Master on a disc.
My troops like.
We have 20 brimstones, 10 pink horrors, and 20 blue horrors. We have 3 5-man screamer squads. And last but not least, the burning chariot.
Bad.
All right, so going over deployment now. We've got my outriders on this side of the table. I've got my Primaris captain with the Gravis armor, or no, with the Phobos armor back over here behind them. I have my 5-man intercessor squad split from down there, sitting on my objective. I've got a 5-man infiltrator squad, as well as my librarian in Phobos armor there with them. Over on this side of the table, we have my Blade Guard veterans. Behind them, I have my Blade Guard Ancient and my Apothecary. And then up here, we have my other 5-man intercessor, infiltrator squad, and my lieutenant in Phobos armor back over there. It's such a small table. I had thought about maybe putting him in Deep Strike, but then I was afraid of being locked out of being able to really bring him into anywhere effective because of the smaller table size. So it's something to keep in mind when you're playing these, which is kind of interesting. Now, going over deployment for the Demons of Zeech. We've got a 5-man Screamer squad over here. We've got a 10-man Pink Horror squad over here. We have his Fluxmaster on a disc back over here. We've got the 20-man, the 20 base Brimstone squad over here on the objective. We've got the Burning Chariot. We've got the Blue Horrors. We have the Demon Prince. We have another squad of the Screamers up over here. And then in Deep Strike, what is it? The Demons or Denizens of the Warp. My opponent spent a CP to put another 5-man squad of Screamers into Deep Strike Reserve. So that is going to be deployment. We will now roll off to see who will have the choice of who goes first. So roll a dice. 3-1. So I am going to choose to go first. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 1. At the end of my command phase, I did gain a CP, but here, my Blade Guard veterans advanced up over here. My Blade Guard Ancient advanced up behind them. My Apothecary just moved up behind them, staying on the objective back over here. This squad over here of infiltrators moved up 6 inches, along with the lieutenant in Phobos armor behind them. Over here, my intercessor stood still, as did my infiltrators over there, and my librarian in Phobos armor. Back over here, my captain moved up onto the objective, but these guys moved up beyond here, looking onto these guys. So that is going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so my guy is within 6 inches of the center of the table over there, and he is going to try to do psychic ritual to try to get it. So basically what it is it's a psychic test of a 3 or better. If he passes, I mark it down, and if I pass it 3 times over the course of the game, I will score 15 points. Double 1s and double 6s are do perils as well, and my opponent can try to deny them if he's within 24, which he is. So I'm going to try to cast it here, looking for a 3 or better. Getting it with a 6. And my opponent denies it with a 9. Well done. All right, so into the shooting phase. My outriders are going to start us off by shooting into the blue heart. Actually, they're going to shoot into the into these guys up here, whatever. Into the screamers up here. So they've got 16 shots. These are going to be hitting on 3s. No rerolls because they did move this turn. Strength 4, toughness 4 on those guys.
Yes.
All right, so looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 wounds at AP minus 1. So it's 3 wounds at AP minus 1.
AP minus, nah.
Oh yeah. So he's got a 4-up invul save because of ephemeral. Making 1, failing 2. 1 will die. Now my intercessors here are going to fire into his brimstones over here. So they're going to have 10 shots because they didn't move. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s, but there's no 1s there to reroll. These are going to be wounding on 3s because they're toughness 3. That is going to be 4 wounds at AP minus 1, but he doesn't care about that. These have 6-up invul saves. Nope, fails all of them. And then my infiltrators down there are going to fire into the brimstones. They have 2 of them are in rapid fire range, so these are going to be, oh, they didn't move, so actually all of them are going to be in rapid fire range. These are going to be hitting on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of Grim Resolve. Pretty nice. And these are going to be wounding on 3s again. Oh, I forgot to check if there was any 6s there. There probably were. They would have been auto wounds, but that's fine. So that's gonna be 6 wounds. 6 up invul saves, sir.
On the brims?
Yes.
Yep, this is it is.
Oh, no, fails them all. And now these infiltrators over here are gonna fire into the pink horrors. So they are in rapid fire range, 10 shots. Hitting on 3s, no rerolls because they did move. And then these are going to be wounding on 4s because they're toughness 4, correct? Yeah. Oh no, 1 second. No, my bad, they're toughness 3, but they have a 4 up invul save. That was the difference that I was forgetting there. So these are going to be hitting, wounding on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant that's over there. Not meant to be. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. These have 4 up invul saves. Ooh, that's how you do that. Takes 1 dead. And now the lieutenant is going to fire into them as well. He did move, so nothing there.
Overwatch.
All right, so that's going to be it for the shooting phase. Into the assault phase, my outriders are going to charge into his blue horrors over here. He's not going to overwatch because they can't shoot, so no use spending CP to do that. Their charge distance is, wow, way in with that double 6. All right, so now my outriders are going to attack into his blue horrors in the fight phase. I messed this up last time when I used them. They have +2 attacks when they charge. So they have 2 attacks base for the regular guys, 3 attacks for the sergeant, +2 because they charged because of their special rule, +1 because they charged and they've got shock assault, and they all have chain swords, Astartes chain swords, which give them additional attacks. So we're going to have 19 attacks coming in here into these blue horrors. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Come back to that.
Toughness 3.
And then wounded on 3, strength 4, toughness 3. All right, so that's going to be 8 wounds here. Looking for 5 up saves. Making a bunch there. Wow, making 5 of them, so only losing 3 guys. And now the blue horrors are going to be attacking back into me over here. He got 15 guys within an inch or within half of an inch of someone who is within half an inch, which is the engagement rule there. So he's going to have 15 attacks now. These are going to be hitting on 5s.
Reroll 1.
Rerolling 1s because of the demon prince back there. All right, we'll come back to that. All right, 3 hits, and now looking for 6s to wound.
Nope.
No wounds. All right, I'm going to spend 3 CP on Honor the Chapter to attack back again. So these are going to have another 19 attacks in because it's still on the charge here. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. And then wounding on 3s.
That's what I was listening to.
All right, so we got 9 wounds here. 5 up invul save. Failed a bit more that time, so that's going to be failing 6 of them. All right, so that's going to be it for the Dark Angel's turn here. We do have some morale tests to take. We've got this blue horror squad and the brimstone horror squad need to test. So let's roll for... No, you're going to spend...
Insane on these guys.
All right, you're going to spend 2 CP for these guys over here so that they will not pass. You can only spend Insane Bravery now once per game, so they'll be good. And now we'll have the Brimstones over here. They lost, what is it, 10, I think? They lost...
9.
On the Brimstones?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lost 9,
Brimstones lost 9, so he's going to have 9. He's looking for a 1 for an auto pass on this test. And he does, which look at that. So he is good to go. Sounds good. So we will... come back to you now after, at the end of the turn. I do have units in 3 of the table quarters. Actually, I might have, are they wholly within 4? 1 second. All right, so I actually do. These guys over here got within the in the table quarter over this side. So I have units wholly within all 4 table quarters, giving me 3 points for that. And I do have 3 points for that, but I'm not in his deployment zone, so I did not get anything for Linebreaker, and he denied me on the ritual so far. So, leaving me at 2 points there. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the demons. All right, movement phase for the demons here on turn 1. His screamers moved on over here, moving over my infiltrators, which is going to be important coming up in a bit. The pink horrors moved up here just outside of an inch of them, as did his Fluxmaster moving up over this way, over on this side. His brimstones just kind of consolidated themselves up on top over here. His chariot flew over this way because it's got fly, ending up over an inch away from those guys over there. Over here, his blue horrors stayed in combat with my bikers, and his demon prince jumped up over here. The screamer squad flew over this way, flying over my bikers for an important reason. But these guys are looking at my captain back over there, or my master. But of import here, my opponent has flown over me with screamers. When they do so, he gets to choose one unit that he does. He gets to roll a d6 for each model that in the unit that he or in the unit that flew over them. So in this case, it's a 4-man screamer squad over my bikes, and on a 6, they will do a mortal wound. Getting 1 mortal wound over here, and then we have a 5-man squad over here that flew over my infiltrators, looking for 6s. No 6s there. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, I lied. It's the psychic phase. At the beginning of the psychic phase, my opponent is going to use his blasted standard. At the beginning of the game, my opponent upgraded the standard inside the pink horrors here to a blasted standard. And then once per game, at the beginning of any psychic phase, he can roll 9 dice, and every 6 causes a mortal wound to the closest visible unit. So he's going to do it into my infiltrators over here. So he's going to roll 9 dice here, looking for 6s to cause mortal wounds, causing 2 mortal wounds. So now the blue horrors over here are going to try to smite into my bikes. He has to roll 1d6, looking for a 5 or a 6. Not getting it. And now his brimstones are going to cast hit onto my infiltrators over there, looking for a 6. Not getting it. All right, so now his demon prince is going to cast smite onto my bikers. Normally this would be a 7, but he gets a +1 to casting here, so he's looking for a 6. And a regular 2d6. Ooh, does not go off.
I'm going to burn my...
All right, my opponent's going to spend a CP to reroll. It has to reroll both dice now because it's the roll that gets rerolled now with the way they've changed the CP reroll. Ooh, I can do a 5. Not going to work. And now the Fluxmaster is going to cast into my infiltrators over here, looking for a 7 because he also gets +1.
Yes.
It does go off. I am going to try to deny that.
Nice.
Looking for an 8. Do not get it. D3 mortal wounds. Do 3 mortal wounds. All right, so now my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on Magical Boon to allow his Fluxmaster here to cast another power. He's going to use Flickering Flames onto his pink horrors over here. So looking for a 4 because he gets +1 to this cast. Ooh, perils, and you already used your reroll. So that's going to be D3 mortal wounds onto your Fluxmaster, sir.
No.
3 mortal wounds. That is brutal. All right, so now his chariot here is going to start us off in the shooting phase, shooting into my infiltrators down over there because they're on the terrain. They can be targeted. So he's going to fire here. He's got 3 shots. It is heavy, but it doesn't matter because he's not infantry, so he doesn't have a -1 to hit for moving. So these are going to be 3 shots hitting on 3s. It's going to be 2 hits. Strength.
Okay, here it is. Strength 9.
Strength 9. Pretty brutal there. So these are going to be wounding on 3s. That's going to be 2 wounds.
AP -4.
AP -4 +1 because they're in cover over there.
D3 wounds.
It's going to be, so this is looking for 6 up saves. So looking for those fill faces. No fill faces there. So it's going to be D3 apiece. So the first one, but they were both 2, so it's good to go. So that's 2 dead guys.
Sorry about that.
And now his pink horrors are going to fire into my infiltrators over here. So he's going to have, with his flickering flames here, they've got 18 shots. He does have a locus of Zinch there. So they are going to be strength 4, but these are going to be hitting on, hitting on 4s. 18 shots, because there's 9 guys left. No. Strength 4, toughness 4, 4s to wound. All right. No AP on these, so these are going to be looking for 3-up armor saves. Failing 2 of them.
Yes.
All right, into the assault phase. His screamers here are going to start off by charging into my master in Phobos armor over here. I'm not going to fire Overwatch here.
I need a 3.
Needs a 3 to get in, and he's in.
Nope.
And now his Demon Prince is going to charge into my Outriders. He's in. And now his Screamers over here are just going to charge into my Apothecary. They're in. All right, so now the Burning Chariot is going to charge into my Infiltrator squad over in here. I'm going to spend a CP to Overwatch with them. There's 3 guys left in that squad. They are going to be hitting on 6s. Rerolling ones because of Grim Resolve. That's going to be 1 hit, which is an auto wound because of their weapon there. Just AP minus nothing.
I don't care about your AP.
Yeah.
Invul 4?
Invul 4 up. No, takes a wound.
You got a wound.
And his charge distance is in. And now the pink horrors are going to charge into my infiltrators over here, looking for pretty much anything. Yeah, look, they're in. And now his Flexmaster is going to charge into my into my dude bros over there. He will make it.
On a 7.
All right, so I heroically intervened with my Blade Guard Ancient over here into the Screamers that are surrounding my poor Apothecary that's down there. But now my opponent's going to roll for, what's it called again?
Locus of Trickery.
Locus of Trickery for his characters here. So that he's basically going to roll these. He chooses the lowest of the 2, and if I roll that, it is a failure for this attack. So double 1 means it's definitely going to be a 1. So that would have been a fail anyway. So it's not a big deal here, and you cannot re-roll it.
That would have been 2 kills. It would have been like a 3 or 4.
Yeah, if it was a 3 or 4, it would have been a big deal. Yeah, exactly, for those guys. So yeah. All right, so we're gonna start off with the Flexmaster into my Primaris Lieutenant and Phobos armor over there. So he's going to attack here. He's got 2 attacks here. Yeah. These are going to be hitting on 3s. 3s.
No, I'm sorry, 4s.
No, hitting on 4s. My bad. That's gonna be 1 hit. Strength.
3.
Strength 3. So looking for 5s to wound. No, nothing. All right, I'm gonna spend 2 CP to interrupt over here with my Phobos Master. He's gonna attack into the Screamers. I've got 5 attacks base, +1 for the charge, or +1 because I was charged, and +1 for his combat knife. These are gonna be hitting on 2s. That's gonna be all hits, wounding on 4s. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP nothing, so he's still just got his 4-up invul save. Making them all brutal. All right, so now his pink horrors here are going to attack into my my infiltrators. So he's going to have 10 attacks with the 9 guys there because of the what's he have? Iridescent there. So these are going to be looking for 4s to hit. All right.
No rerolls, but
no rerolls, and then strength 4. So toughness 4, looking for 4s to wound. It's going to be 3 wounds there.
Straight up.
3 up saves. Failing 1. All right, so now these Screamers are going to attack. Because I heroically intervened, he can attack my my Blade Guard Ancient there. So his Screamers are now going to be attacking into him. 2 of them are going to go into my Blade Guard Ancient. 3 of them are going to go into my Apothecary, who's in the middle of that big old dog pile over there. So these are going to be the 2 into my Blade Guard Ancient, hitting on 4s. Okay, wow, real good there. And these are strength 6, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 3 wounds.
AP minus 3, 2 wounds each.
AP minus 3, so these are looking for 6-up saves. Making 2 of them. He's still alive. Woo! And now the 3 guys into my Apothecary over there. Again, hitting on 4s. All right.
Strength 6.
And strength 6, so again, wounded on 3s. Ooh, that is going to be 5. AP minus 3. So looking for 6-up saves. Only making 1, so he will be dead. On a 4-up, though, he will get to fight back because of the Blade Guard Ancient's banner over there. Oh, and he will. All right, he is going to be dead, but he will attack back with his chainsword or his bolt pistol. It doesn't make a difference. Both of them are going to do the same thing. So hitting on A3. That is a hit. Wounding on A4. No wound there. Well, hold on a second. He's in 6 inches of the lieutenant, so he gets to re-roll that. Into a wound. Save. Oh, he's good. And now these Screamers are attacking into my captain, my Primaris Master over here in Phobos armor. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. Wounding on 3s. 4-up invul save because of Iron Halo. And I make 2 of them.
Re-rolling.
All right, so now his Demon Prince is going to attack into my Bikers. He's going to have, how many attacks is it?
5.
5 attacks.
Total.
Plus, or 4 attacks plus 1 for the Malefic Talon gives him an extra attack there. But he's going to be attacking with the sword. So these are going to be hitting on 2s. Rerolling because of himself. All right, no need to reroll there. And he's going to be strength 7, so looking for 3s to wound.
Remember the blue die is the Talon.
The blue die is the Talon. That is going to be 4 wounds there, 3 with the sword.
Yep.
All right, they're all AP minus 2, so we'll do the swords first. That's going to be 3 AP minus 2, so looking for 5-up saves. making 2 of them. And then we've got the 1 Talon, 2 ups, AP -2. Oh, failing that one, so that's gonna be 2 wounds. All right, so now his chariot's going to attack into my infiltrators over there. So here we go. So he's going to have 3 attacks here, hitting on 3s. That's going to be 2 hits. Strength 5. So looking for 3s to wound. That's going to be 1 wound. AP nothing. So looking for a 3-up save. Yeah, they're good. Woo! And now he gets 6 additional attacks with the lamprey bites from his from the chariot there, hitting on 4s for these ones. So that's going to be 3 hits, and then strength 6. So looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound at AP -3.
Yep. 2.
So looking for a 6-up save. No, don't make that one. All right, so now we're into the regular part of the fight phase after all the charges of attacks. So I get to choose which unit goes first now. So I'm going to choose my bikers. They're all going to attack into the blue horrors over here. So I do get +1 attack because I was charged. I don't get +2 for charging because I didn't charge this turn. So it's going to be 9 attacks between the 2 there into the blue hearts. Hitting on, 11 attacks. I'm sorry, because of the chainsword. I forgot about that. These are going to be hitting on 3s. All right. Pretty awful. I was going to say good, but no. That is real awful there. Toughness 3, though, so wounded on 3s. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP -1, but you don't care about that.
Invul 5.
Invul 5 up.
And
Failed them all. 3 dead. And now the blue horrors are going to attack back. There's 8 attacks from them over here. These are going to be hitting on 5s. Okay, getting 1 hit.
Reroll 1.
Rerolling 1s because of the Demon Prince. Still only 1 hit.
6.
Looking for a 6 to wound. Hey, that's a wound right there. 3-up save though. Nah, they're good. So now my infiltrators are going to attack into his burning chariot over there. 2 attacks for the regular guy, 3 attacks for the main for the sergeant, +1 attack because they got charged, hitting on 3s. Alrighty. Wounding on what's this stuff? Toughness 5, so 5's to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP nothing. Invul 5 up. Invul 4 up. Sorry. Fails 1. All right, so now my Blade Guard Ancient's going to attack into the Screamers over here. He's got 4 attacks base +1 because he heroically intervened. And he's going to be hitting at a +1 to hit because of his banner ability, or his aura ability that he gives there. He gives Blade Guard units. He is a Blade Guard unit. +1 to hit. So hitting on 2s. Alrighty. And these are going to be strength 4, looking for 4s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. AP nothing, but still going for their invul save. Fails 1. And now my lieutenant's going to attack into his Fluxmaster over there. He's got 5 attacks, or 5 attacks +1 because he was charged, hitting on 2s. All right. And these are going to be wounding on, what's he, toughness 3? So 3s to wound. Rerolling 1s because of himself. Okay, that's going to be 2 wounds. AP nothing. 2 4-up invul saves. Failing 1. So he is dead because he...
Nope.
Yeah, I think so, right? Oh, you're going to spend a CP? He's going to spend a CP to reroll that.
One.
No, still dead.
And I forgot to attack.
And now my infiltrator up there is going to attack the sergeant on 3s. On 3s. That is going to be 2 wounds. 2 4-ups. Makes them both. All right, so that's going to be it for the turn here for the demons. Pretty brutal turn. I do have some morale tests to take here, so we're going to start with my infiltrators over here. He lost 4 guys, so 4 + 2 is 6. He is good to go. My opponent did lose 3 blue horrors, so he does have to roll for them. So we'll do that. 3 + 4 is 7, but that's their leadership, so they're good to go. And then I lost 3 guys in the middle there from that squad, so 3 + 2 is 5, and they are good to go. So that's going to be it for the Demon's turn here. At the end of the turn, he's not wholly within my deployment zone, so he does not get Line Breaker here. And I don't think he can get any of the other ones. Did not get Slay the Warlord, but he does control this objective. He does control that objective over there, so he will get 3 points for Ransack. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 2. Movement phase for the Dark Angels here. My Blade Guard Ancient fell back out of combat over here. My Blade Guard Veterans moved up here just outside of an inch of his Screamers. My Lieutenant stayed where he was. My dude bro over here stayed where he was. These guys down below shuffled a bit so they could see the Screamers over there after my Master fell back up the wall over there. And then these guys over here stayed in combat with the what's it called? The Chariot over here, protecting my Librarian with their lives. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. He's got to move over to here, so he's out of 5 inches there of engagement range. And then over here, my Bikers fell back around them over here and spent 2 CP on Intractable to allow them to shoot. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so I'm going to try to do that psychic ritual again here on the psychic phase. So I'm looking for a 4 now because of the +1 to my casting rolls with the Chariot there. So looking for a 4. That is going to go off with an 8. My opponent will try to deny it. Does not get it with a 7, so that's 1. I got 1. All right, so my Intercessors here are going to start us off in the shooting phase, shooting into his Screamers, hitting on 3s. All right, some of them did move there, so no rerolls there. Toughness 4, so 4 is the wound. That is going to be 3 wounds, AP -2 now because it's the assault phase, or the tactical doctrine, whatever. So
Invul 4.
Invul 4 up, doesn't care. Failing 1. And then these guys are going to fire into the blue horse, so that's about that. 8 shots here, hitting on 3s. Wounding on 3s. Oh man. 2 wounds?
2?
Yeah.
Invul 5.
Wounding on, or 5 up invuls. Makes 1, fails 1. Infiltrators are going to fire into his Chariot with their bolt pistols. Did not move, so re-rolling that 1. That's 2 hits. Toughness 5, so 5's a wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. 4 up invul. Makes them both. And now my Lieutenant over there is going to fire into the Screamers. He's going to have 2 shots, hitting on 3s. That's 1 hit. No wound, but re-rolling once because of himself.
Yep.
Into a wound. AP nothing.
4.
4 up invul.
Nope.
No, that's 2 damage. That's a dead guy. Oh, he was already wounded anyway. And then he's going to fire his bolt pistol. Then infiltrate over there. Rerolling 1 because he didn't move because Grim Resolve. Into a hit. Into a wound. Invul save. 4.
Hey!
Good. And now the Blade Guard are going to fire into them over here. Hitting on 2s because of the Ancient being there. That's going to be all hits. 1 second. Yep, his rule does not specify the fight phase, so it's just hit rolls. So that is going to be all hits there. Strength 4, force to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. Rerolling 1 because of the Lieutenant. That's going to be 3 wounds. AP -1, but doesn't care. Invul save. Fails 1. And my Librarian is going to fire into the Screamers.
Okay.
That's a hit.
Bang.
That is not a wound. Into the assault phase. My Blade Guard Veterans are going to charge into the Screamers. They are in. And now my Lieutenant's going to charge into the pink horrors over here. And he's in. All right, so now my Blade Guard Veterans are going to start us off here. They're going to have 3 attacks each, except for the Sergeant, who's going to have 4, +1 because they charged because of shock assault. So these are going to be hitting on 2s because of the Blade Guard Ancient there. Hitting on 2s, no rerolls. There's a lot of 1s, but a lot of 2s because of the Ancient that got them there. These are going to be strength +1 with their Mastercrafted Power Swords. These are going to be, so wounding on 3s. Rerolling 1s because of the Lieutenant they're still within 6 of. Alrighty, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at AP -3, but they don't care about that, so it's going to be 4 up invul saves. Failing 2 of them, so that's going to be 2 dead. And now my Lieutenant is going to attack over here. He's going to have 4 attacks base, +1 for the charge, +1 for his combat knives, hitting on 2s. Alrighty. Strength 4, looking for 3s to wound. 2s do not get rerolled, so that's going to be 3 wounds into the pink horrors. They've got 4 up invul saves. Failing 2. All right, so now the chariot is going to attack into my guys because we're in the regular fight phase. My opponent gets to choose first. So here comes his chariot attacks first, or the chariot attacks first, yes. Hitting on 4s or 3s. Which one was it? 4s. So that's going to be 1 hit.
Strength 5.
Strength 5, so 3 the wound. That's a wound.
AP nothing.
AP nothing, so 3 up save. No, failed that one. And the lamprey kisses. These are 4s to hit. That's 2 hits. And these are going to be strength 6, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 1 wound. Looking for a 6 up serve. Fill face! Yeah, with the fill face! Woo! And here comes my the sergeant there from the infiltrators hitting on 3s. That is gonna be all hits. Wounding on 3s. That is gonna be all wounds. So 3 wounds into the pink horrors. 4 saves. Failing 2 of them, another 2 dead. And now his screamers are gonna attack into my Blade Guard veterans over here, hitting on 4s. Alrighty, 3 hits. These are now going to be wounding, strength 6, so 3s to wound. There's going to be 2 wounds. AP -3. So they have storm shields, but their storm shields are different. Their storm shields are +1 to the save character, to saves, or 4-up invul save. So either AP -3, the 4-up invul save becomes the better of the 2. Making 1, failing 1. 2 damage. They got 1 wound left on that one guy. All right, now his pink horrors are going to attack. So there's 3 guys who are going, including his iridescent.
4.
Are going into my infiltrator left over there, hitting on 4s, getting no hits. And then 2 guys are going to go into my lieutenant, getting 1 hit, but no wound.
Nope.
All right, on to the morale phase here. We're going to start with the screamers over there. They lost 3 guys, so 3 plus 2 is good to go. The pink horrors lost 4. 4 plus 5 is not good to go. So they're going to lose 1 guy for sure. And now you have to roll. So 1 guy is gone for sure. And now we have to roll a d6 for every model left there. So how many is that there? 4 guys left. So 4d6. Every instance of a 1 will be another guy that runs away. Nope, no one else runs away. So just the 1 that you failed there, which is pretty good. That's way better than it would have been otherwise. And I think that was it, because they lost 1. They can't fail that. Or they didn't lose any, actually. And then these guys, I think, lost 1, right?
Yep.
I think they lost 1, so they're going to be good to go. All right, so that's going to be it for the morale phase. At the end of the turn, I do score. I have, again, I have 4 table quarters. So I do get 3 points for that. I didn't get any points for the primary because I only held one objective at the beginning of, or at the end of my command phase. So did not get anything there. So I do get another 3 points for engage on all fronts, but I do not have line breaker yet. So that will be it for the Dark Angel's turn here on turn 2. We'll come back to you after a movement phase for the Demons of Tzeentch here on turn 2. All right, movement phase for the demons here. At the beginning of his turn and command phase, he did score 15 points because he's currently sitting on 4 he was sitting on 4 objectives, which got him hold 2, hold 3, and then hold more than I was holding. Got him 15 points in the primary, which is pretty awesome. So, movement phase. These guys stayed in combat with these guys over here. These guys stayed in combat with them over there. They stayed on the objective over here. These guys came in at the end of the combat at the phase because you had them up in deep strike. Over here, these guys just kind of moved back here, so they're wholly within my deployment zone, but also within contesting range of the objective over there. His chariot stayed in combat over there. These guys consolidated around the objective, and this guy moved up here to try to get off the charge in a bit here. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the psychic phase. These guys are going to smite over here, looking for a 5 to go off. Get it with a 5, so that's going to do 1 mortal wound. And then the pinks are going to do it, looking for a 6. No. And his Demon Prince is going to cast over here. Becomes a 6 because of his +1 to cast. Goes off with a 6. I'm going to try to deny that. Oh, I do not with a 5, so D3 mortal wounds. Oh, that fell off. 3 mortal wounds, killer. Into the shooting phase, his chariot here is going to use his D6 like flamer pistols that he's got going on here. So it's going to be
Pink Fire Zinch.
Pink Fire Zinch. So D6 shots, 6 hits, and they're auto hits, correct?
Yep.
So these are going to be strength what?
They are strength.
1 second.
Strength.
All right, strength 5, so 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. These are going to be AP -2, so looking for 5 up saves. Failed them both. Oh no. All right, so into the charge phase now. His Demon Prince here is going to charge into my Becker. I've got no CP to Overwatch, and he's in. All right, so now his Demon Prince is going to attack into me over here. He's got 4 base attacks with the sword, +1 for his Malefic Talon. These are going to be hitting on rerolling 1s because of himself. 2s, so that's going to be all hits. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 3 wounds. AP -2. So looking for 5 up saves. He is going to be dead.
I want number 1.
All right, so now I get to choose. So I'm going to go with my Blade Guard veterans over here. So they're going to have 10 attacks, hitting on 2s because of the banner. All right, no rerolls there. And then these are going to be wounding on strength +1, so 3s to wound. Rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant. Okay, we're not meant to be there. So that is going to be 6 wounds at AP -3, but you don't care about that. But they are 2 damage apiece, so everyone's a dead screamer. 4 ups. Oh, they are dead.
No.
And now the pink horrors here are going to all attack into my infiltrator over there. So these are going to be hitting on 4s. That is going to be no hits. And then my 1 infiltrator over there is going to attack. That's all hits.
Top 5.
That's 1 wound.
Top 5. Invuln 4.
4 up. Ooh, takes a wound. Ow. And now his chariot is going to attack into me here.
4s.
Hitting on 4s.
Nope.
No hits with that. And then he's got 6 attacks with the Lamprey Bite. Hitting on 4s. That's 1 hit.
What happened?
Uh-oh. Wounding on 3. Oh, but that's a wound.
-3.
6 up save. I need to make this Phil face or he's dead. Phil face! No, he did. All right, so now my lieutenant's going to attack in there. He's going to have 5 attacks because he's got the combat knife. Hitting on 2s, no rerolls. 3s to wound. That's going to be 3 wounds. AP nothing, so they got their 4 up. Invul. Making all but 1. And then the sergeant from the infiltrator there. That's going to be 3 hits. Rerolling 1s because of the lieutenant. That's going to be 3 more wounds. 3 more 4 up invul saves. Oh, and he makes them. And the chariot actually consolidated into my librarian, so he'll attack back now. He's got 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is going to be 1. Okay, 1 hit, tough 5, so 5 to wound. Yeah, that's a wound, AP -3, but he doesn't care about that. 4 up invul. Oh, he's good. All right, that's going to be it for the demon's turn here. He did score Linebreaker at the end of his turn. He also had gotten Ransack at the beginning of his turn there with his secondary there, scoring 3 points because he had controlled 2 of my objectives at the turn there. So that is going to be it for the demon's turn here. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn, what is it, turn 3. Oh. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. My Blade Guard veterans and my Blade Guard Ancient moved up over this way. Blade Guard Ancient staying within 3 inches of the objective over there. These guys looking to get their charge off over here. My Librarian stayed in combat with his chariot over there. Over here, my captain, or my master is staying up there, getting ready to shoot, and my intercessors stood still. These guys, both the lieutenant and the infiltrator, stayed in combat, and that's all I got left on the table. So that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so I'm gonna try to do the ritual again. If I had fallen back, I wouldn't be able to do the ritual. You can't cast any psychic powers actually if you fall back. So my guy is not gonna fall back. He's just gonna have to stay there in combat and try to cast this ritual. So looking for a 4 because he's giving me that +1. It does go off with a 9, so looking for a 10 to deny. Does not deny it. That's number 2. Heavy bolt pistols from them into the screamers will start us off in the shooting phase. Hitting on 2s because of the banner. They did move, so no reroll. That is going to be toughness 4, so 1 wound. AP -1.
Invuln 4.
Oh, no! Takes a wound. And the Ancient also has a bolt pistol, heavy bolt pistol. That's not going to hit, but he did move. Bolt pistol from the Infiltrator. That's a hit. Rerolling because of the Lieutenant. That is a wound. 4-up invul save for those pinks. No. And then my Lieutenant is going to hit. Is going to wound. 4-up invul. No. My Intercessors are going to fire into his Screamers over on that side over there. Rerolling ones because of Grim Resolve. Alrighty then. And then 4s to wound. Oof, man. That's going to be 2 at AP -2 because of it being still Tactical Doctrine. So, but he doesn't care because he's got his 4-up invul. Makes them both. Why not? Bolt pistol from the Librarian there. Rerolling because he didn't move. Okay, not meant to be. And my Master is going to fire into the Horrors down here. That's a hit. That is Strength 4, no wound. All right, charge phase. These guys are going to charge into the Screamers. That is going to be in. And the Lieutenant is no longer engaged, so he's also going to charge. Yeah, he's in. And my Intercessors are going to charge into his Chariot over there.
You giving that up?
4 inches. I don't know if that's enough. Gonna re-roll that with my CP. Into an 11, they're in. All right, so we're gonna start over here with my Blade Guard veterans. 3 attacks base, except for the Sergeant who has 4. Hitting on 2s because they are within range of the Blade Guard Ancient. Alrighty, not bad. And these are going to be wounding on Strength +1 because of the their Mastercrafted Swords. So wounding on 3s. No re-rolling 1s because they're not within range of the Lieutenant now. All right, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at AP -3, but you don't care about that. These are going to be 4-up invul saves. Every failed one, though, is 2 damage, so it will kill a guy. So failed 2 of them, so that's 2 dead. And now my Lieutenant's going to attack into his pink horror over there. That's going to be 5 hits. That's going to be 4 wounds. 4-up saves. Can he stick it? No, he's dead. All right, so now my Intercessors over here are going to charge in. One guy had to stay back to hold on to the objective back there, but that's fine. So the other guys are going to go. There's 4 guys in there. 2 attacks each, except for the Sergeant who has a 3 attacks, +1 for his chainsword, and then they all charge, so they all get a extra attack because of shock assault. So these are going to be hitting on 3s. Looking for 5s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP -0. AP nothing. So looking for 4-up invuls, making them all killer. All right, so now his Chariot is going to attack into my Librarian because he gets to choose first. So these are going to be his Tongues of Flame here, hitting on 4s. Getting 1 hit, Strength 5, so 3s to wound. No wound there. And then we got 6 attacks with his Lamprey bites here. Lamprey Kisses, hitting on 4s.
Yes.
And then wounding on 3s. So that's going to be 2 wounds.
AP -3.
AP -3, so looking for 6-up saves. Failed them both. 2 wounds, so he's still alive. So we're gonna go with we gotta hold it.
1 wound left.
Yeah, got 1 wound left. And then my Librarian Focus is going to attack back into his barge over there. So he's got 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Man, he is just not in the mood to fight today. Wounding on a 5. Nothing, buddy.
4s.
And now his Screamers are going to attack back over here. Hitting on 4s. And then 3s to wound. That's going to be 2 wounds.
AP -3.
4-up invul saves because it's AP -3. Failed 1, so 1 is dead. On a 4-up, though, he'll get to attack back because he's within 6 inches of the Ancient there. On that fill face, he will. Hitting on a 2. That's a hit. Wounding on a 3. No wound there. And that's it for the Dark Angels here on turn 3. I do have engage on all fronts on 3 of the quarters, so I'll get 2 points for that. But I do not have Linebreaker yet. So that's going to be it for Turn 3 here for the Dark Angels. We'll come back to you after movement phase for the Demons here on turn 3.
Kind of shifted.
Movement phase for the Demons here on turn 3. The Screamers are staying in combat over here with my Blade Guard veterans. His Chariot staying in combat with my Intercessors and my Librarian. These guys stayed still over here. Over on this side, these guys kind of moved into the terrain over there, but staying within range of the objective. And the Demon Prince jumped up over here, looking onto my Warlord over here. And these guys stayed back here, getting themselves line breaker, as long as their friends over there can survive, and holding on to the objective. So that's going to be it for the turn. My opponent did control 3 objectives, but he doesn't control more because I control 3 objectives, which means that he nets himself 10 points on the primary there, which is pretty good. So that is going to be it for movement. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, the blues are going to smite into my Intercessors.
Yes.
They do get it with a 5, so that's 1 mortal wound.
Okay.
And now over here, the Brimstones are going to psych into which ones? Into the lieutenant or the sergeant?
The sergeant.
Into the sergeant of the infiltrate over there.
Yep,
so here we go.
6.
No, not going to go over 6. All right, so now his guy here, his Demon Prince, is going to smite into my Dubro over here, my master. And these are going to be, he's looking for 6 because it's +2, -1, or minus, it's 2 harder, but then he gets 1 easier because of his ability there. So that is not going to go off on a 4. My opponent's going to spend his CP to re-roll that. That's not going to go off on a 5. And now my opponent's going to use his last CP here to cast Bolt of Change now with Magical Boon.
Need an 8.
Needs an 8 and it goes off on a 10. I'm going to try to deny it. Or actually it's an 11 because he gets +1.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to deny it, looking for box cars. Show me that double fill faces! No, not even close.
Right.
So, what does he do? We'll come back in. Alright, it's going to cast D3 mortal wounds to me over here. 2 mortal wounds. Alright, so now he's going to use his pink, basically flame pistol over here. He's going to shoot those into my Librarian since it's equal distance from them with the Intercessors who are engaged in combat over there.
D6.
So D6 auto hits. Ooh, 6 auto hits again. Strength 5, so these are going to be looking for 3s, 2 wound.
AP -2, 1 wound.
3s, 2 wounds, so that's going to be 2 wounds. AP -3, 1 wound apiece.
No.
Oh, AP -2? 1 second. AP -2, 1 wound, so here we go. Oh, and he fails both, and I've got no CP to do anything with that, so he is just dead, which means I will not be getting rituals. All right, so into the charge phase, his Demon Prince is going to charge into my master over there. And look, he is in. All right, so here we go. His Demon Prince into my master and Phobos armor, hitting on 2s. No need to reroll there. These are strength 7, so looking for 3s to wound. That is going to be 4 wounds. AP -2, so looking for 4-up invul saves because it's Iron Halo. I'm going to spend his 1 reroll that he has with his Warlord trait, which hasn't gotten me back any CP this entire game. Into a 6, he's good to go. Woo! And the Malefic Talent attack. That is going to be a hit. That is a wound.
-2, 2 wounds.
-2, but he's good. Okay. So now we're going to go with my Blade Guard veterans over here. Hitting on 2s because of the Ancient. 3s because of the Power Sword. So that's going to be 4 wounds here. 4-up invul saves. Failing 1, so 1 more dead. And now his Chariot is going to attack into my Intercessors over here. 4. So here comes his main one hitting on 4s. No, nothing there with the regular attacks. And then he's got the Lamprey Kisses. 4, so that's 3 hits.
Okay.
Wounding on 3s.
-3.
Getting 1 wound, AP -3, so 6. No, he did. And now my Intercessors are going to attack back. Hitting on 3s. 5s to wound. Getting 2 wounds with fill faces. It's got to mean something, right? 4-up invul saves. Ooh, clutches him. And now his Screamers over here are going to attack back.
4.
4s to hit.
No. Yep.
And then wounding on 3s.
Yes.
That's going to be 3 wounds. 3 4-up invul saves because of their storm shields. And I make 2 of them fail 1 of them. All right, that's going to be it for the Demon's turn here. At the end of the turn, he does get Line Breaker once again for 4 points there, which is really good. And that is going to be it. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the Dark Angels on turn 4. All right, we forgot to attack back with my Master. So we're going to have to do that one here. So he's going to have 7 attacks because he got charged there and he's got the combat knife. These are going to be hitting on 2s. That's going to be all hits. Wounding on 5s. That is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. Not bad. Yeah, 4 wounds. So it's going to be 4. What is it? What's it say? 4 up?
Yep.
4 4-ups. Failing 2 of them. Takes 2 wounds. All right, movement phase for the Dark Angels. My Master is going to stay in combat with the Demon Prince up here. My Intercessors are staying in combat with the Chariot over there. My Blade Guard Veterans are staying in combat with the Screamers over here. And over here, my Lieutenant and my Infiltrator Sergeant moved over here. So they're still on the objective, but they are both back here in 6 inches, so I can get Line Breaker for the first time ever, which is pretty nice. I did hold 3 objectives. My opponent held at 3 objectives, so that gave me 10 points on the primary there. So that is it for the movement phase. We will come back to you with the shooting phase, because my Psyker is dead. My Intercessors are going to shoot their bolt pistols. Did not move. It's going to be all hits. That is going to be 1 wound, sir. 4 up invul save. Good. Heavy bolt pistols over here. Rerolling 1s because they didn't move. That's going to be all hits. That's going to be 1 wound. That is going to be a save. And now over here, my Lieutenant is going to fire into them. That's going to be 2 hits. Oh no, 1 hit. 1 hit. And that is going to be a wound.
Invul 6.
6 up invul. That's cocked. No. And then my Sergeant is going to do the same thing. That's going to be an auto hit and a wound. But that's 6. Oh, but he makes a save. And my Master's going to shoot his bolt pistol. Rerolling 1s because of himself. That's a hit. That is not a wound. All right, so no charges, but into the fight phase over here. My opponent starts first, so he's going to go with the Demon Prince into my Master. So go with his first with the sword attacks. That's going to be all hits. 3s to wound. That's going to be 1 wound. Looking for a 4-up invul save. No, but I'm going to spend my CP that I got this turn to reroll it. Into a 4, he's good. Woo! And the Malefic Talon. That's going to be a hit. That's not a wound.
I'll reroll that one.
Gonna spend.
Can I?
You don't have any CP? Yeah, you're.
I have 1 left.
No, you shouldn't. I don't think so. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, he had spent both his CP that he had during his psychic phase, so he has no CP because yeah. My Blade Vard Guardians or Blade Guard veterans over here are going to attack, hitting on 2s. That's all hits. Wounded on 3s. Ooh man, that hurts. 2 4-up invul saves. Makes them both. And now the Chariot is going to attack in.
4s.
4s to hit. That's 2 hits.
3s.
3s to wound on this. Strength 5. Getting 1 wound.
Minus
AP
1.
-1, so 4-up save. Oh no. And here come the Lamprey Bites. It's going to be a bunch of hits. And these are going to be wounded on 3s as well. That's going to be 3 wounds. 6-up saves. And I failed them all. That's killer. All right, so my Sergeant's the only one left over there. He's going to attack back on 3s. Oh, no. Yeah, but a wound. So now he's got a 4-up invul save. Yeah, you good. And now the Screamers get to attack back over here.
4s.
4s to hit. And 3s to wound.
3s.
1 wound.
-3.
4-up invul. He good. And my Master is going to attack back. 6 attacks with the combat knife over there. Rerolling 1s because of himself. It's going to be all hits. 5s to wound. Getting 1 wound. 1. 4-up invul save. He's good. All right, so that's going to be it for the Dark Angel's turn here. I do score 4 points for Line Breaker over there. And that is going to be it. So we will, oh, and I engage on all fronts. I also scored that because I've got 3 quarters with guys inside of it. So we will come back to you after movement phase for the demons here on turn 4. All right, movement phase for the demons here on turn 4. These guys stayed in combat over here. These guys moved around onto the objective over here. Demon Prince stayed in combat. The chariot stayed in combat over there. These guys stayed on their objective, as did the blues down underneath over there. So that's going to be it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, the blues are going to start us off here by casting Smite into my intercessor over here. So looking for 5. That takes a mortal wound.
A 6.
And then the brimstones are going to do it into my lieutenant. A 6? No.
Cookie brain.
And now he's going to smite me over here with his demon prince. That will go off D3 mortal wounds. If you get 2, he's dead. And that he is dead. And that's Slay the Warlord. All right, into the shooting phase. His chariot is going to shoot into my intercessor over there. D6 auto hits. Okay, 1 auto hit. That is a wound, though.
-1.
-1. That is a save.
You want them?
All right, so we're gonna do a fight over here. Okay. They're gonna go into your screamers because I get to choose first since it is your turn. Wounding on 3s. Oh boy. All right, so that's gonna be 4 wounds.
All right.
4 of invul saves. Every one that failed is a dead guy because he's got 2 damage apiece on these. Oh, and that's 2, so they are dead.
Yeah, flaming.
And then over here, his chariot is going to attack into me. So these are the 3 regular attacks.
4s?
No. Not 4s, no. And then we got 6 attacks with the Lamprey's Kiss. Okay, getting a bunch of hits there, or statistically even there. And then 3s to wound. That is going to be 2 wounds. Looking for double 6s. Oh, I only got 1 and failed the other one, so he is dead. All right, so that is going to be it for the demon's turn here on turn 4, and that is where we are going to call it, because at the end of turn 4, including the 10 points we each got for being fully painted, because you have to be on this channel, my opponent has 73 points, and I have 39 points. So a shellacking by the demons on the Dark Angels here. So, ooh, baby, it's brutal. All of those invul saves that the demons have is just... like when they're hot, and when they're cold, they're cold. I've seen them go the opposite way for you there. So, but my opponent just played to the objectives. He kept his screamers that he was. Oh man, I mean, you could see just like the pain behind his eyes, wanting to just charge them into my warlord as he sat over there. But no, he kept them back. He held them back there so he could get Linebreaker and get those points and played to the objectives perfectly. So my opponent did a fantastic job. This game, playing to the objectives and making sure he could handle all the threats I had. And he kept my Blade Guard veterans who were, they should have been able to go through and like kick some demon butt, but he kept them tied up and did a really good job of making sure that on his charges that he chose, like originally avoiding them on that first charge, just going after my Apothecary was a great idea. All the different choices that my opponent made, fantastically, excellently tactical, and kicked my butt, so. Redeemed himself there. So yeah, it was a ton of fun. Playing a 1,000-point game on a smaller table is awesome. It really feels tactical. It feels like very just as densely battled and contested as you would with a full 2,000-point army because of the size of the table, which is great. So I kind of like them coming up with that with the recommended table size difference for the different games. It makes it fun. So if you only want to play a 1,000-point game, you can play it on a smaller table and feel just as engaged and tactical as you would on the bigger table. So yeah, it's like, yeah, Kill Team XL basically is what you got here. So a ton of fun though, back and forth there. Really good time. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Neil, and until next time, stay safe and have fun.